like 40. Good point. Good job.
Next, you have Nico Harris.
So, Paul, what are your expectations for Cooper?
You know what? I have very high expectations for Cooper Flag. Because think about this. Ever since I watched him since he was in AAU basketball, probably since the 10th grade, he's lived up to expectations everywhere he's gone. Every level. The high school, top player. Duke, college, top player. And his game, it translates. You know what I'm saying? It's not one certain skill set that I can say he's like better than the other, because I think he does everything pretty much well. He shoots the ball. He's great at defense. He can slash. He can come off the pick and roll. He can make plays. He's a lob threat. He's athletic. The sky's the limit for this kid. So whatever role he plays in the Dallas, he will thrive in it. So in saying all of that, my expectations for him, I think he's a lock for Rookie of the Year. I think he's going to help Dallas push for a playoff spot. And his ceiling as a rookie, he can actually be an all-star in his rookie year. That's how good this kid is, because if he's pushing the Dallas Mavericks in the playoffs, him and Anthony Davis are going to be a big part of that. And I think with his skill set, he'll become a fan favorite. He'll become Dallas's very own, somebody they can cuddle since the loss of Luka. And that can push him into the bright lights. So I love what he's done up until this point. Now he gets to prove it on the big stage. And so I have high hopes and expectations for Cooper Flag.
So, right, he'll hit the ground running because it's the right fit for him, right? Paul mentioned playoff spot, all-star at the same time. So that means that they probably won't get into the playoffs. If he becomes an all-star, you got Anthony Davis, who most likely be an all-star. And then once they get Kyrie back, who will be a second-half all-star, now you got 3 all-star players on the team. That's playoffs right there. That should be the playoffs immediately. You know what he's capable of doing. He's been doing it, like Paul said, his entire career. No matter what level, he's been the guy at every single level. Now, because it's the NBA, it's a little bit of a learning curve. But as I said yesterday, just watching him in the summer play against Team USA last summer and do what he did against them, those are all NBA All-Star, future Hall of Fame type players. And for him to be able to get buckets and do the things he did against them, imagine the assault that he could potentially have on the rest of the league as a rookie. And he's going to learn. He got a great coach in Jason Kidd right there. He's got great mentors in terms of players that'll be there. They'll eventually sign somebody at the point guard position, whether it's D'Angelo Russell or Chris Paul. Somebody will be there as a veteran that he can still learn under until Kyrie comes back. So for him, you know, Rookie of the Year, the ceiling's way up there, though. I mean, it'll be interesting to see him on the floor. I'm excited to see him, and I'm never excited about the Dallas Mavericks.
I'll be shocked if he doesn't win Rookie of the Year, for sure. And I do believe that because he has the capability, unlike a lot of number 1 picks and top rookies, he has the ability to play off the ball. And so I think that he'll fit well and he'll be able to come in right away and have an impact. I don't know that the numbers are going to be big in any one category. I can see him filling a box score and having numbers in a lot of different categories, but not necessarily 20 and 12, right? But I do.
What are good numbers for a rookie?
Year before Wemby came on at the end, people were talking about Chet as being a rookie of the year candidate. So if he was averaging, I mean, I don't know. The difficulty is that you do have AD there. Depending on who the point guard is, D'Angelo Russell's going to take up shots and points if he's there. Chris Paul less so. I'm not really worried about that. I think honestly, defense is probably going to be his calling card. How hard he plays. And at the defensive end, I think he's going to be surprisingly good for a rookie because that's usually where the learning curve is. So I don't want to put necessarily numbers on it or some big expectation because I think a lot of it has to do with how good the Dallas Mavericks are collectively.
He has a great motor.
He has a great motor, which is
A great motor. Great motor.
First one in, last one out.
Is that a shot at you?
No. He's just a smart player. He knows
Okay. Got it. Now, All-Star, the thing is, if they have an All-Star, AD gets first cut, right?
Yeah. Oh, he'll get you.
Yeah. And are the Dallas Mavericks going to be so good that they'll warrant having two All-Stars? That would be the question. And they generally don't give All-Star to rookies. So I think that's setting the bar a little high for it. But other than that, rookie of the year and being a contributor and possibly making them not only a playoff team, but I think depending on when Kyrie comes back, a dark horse tender. I think that's all a possibility. I love his attitude. I love his
attitude. No, I'm just saying, I like what you said.
Motor his attitude.
I like what Rick said. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rick.
He's been this way his entire career.
Go ahead, Rick. You said it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, help me out.
He said he wants to be a sponge. I like that.
Sponge. Very smart.
No, I do.
So you guys are so bad.
Great basketball IQ.
He's a great player. He's a great player. I do hesitate to get too crazy with the expectations of such a young player in the NBA. When we forget that they are so young going into the NBA.
He's
18.
yeah, but he's one of the,
And he turned 19.
but he's one of the 18, 19-year-old kids that seem to be different though.
No, for sure. I think he's going to be a tremendous player.
He's very mature.
He's
very mature. Played a lot of basketball. Yeah, he's played a lot of basketball.
It took me a second, but I'm there with you now.
Very coachable. He went to Duke. Right.
So, Paul, you were how old was you?
I was 20.
So,
Yeah.
I always say this with NBA players, particularly right now because they are so young coming into the league, that the development in your body as an 18-year-old man to a 20, 21-year-old man is dramatic.
Yeah.
And we talk about guys with the beards and the NFL and the car seats in the back, but the NBA has that too. There's just a difference in your body and the physicality of playing at an NBA level.
Yeah.
And obviously you're adding a tremendous amount of a longer season as well.
Yeah. But even more so, I think, with basketball, because you can come in at 18, 19.
Right.
You really can't.
Like it's
That's a great point. Because I was ready to come out of the NBA. I could have got drafted after my freshman year. I was 18. But the reason I didn't, I just said I'm physically not ready. And so I stayed to get in the program, get stronger and all of that. That's why I stayed a couple more years. Because mentally and physically I wasn't there.
Yeah. But he seems to.
But he's there. But the players now are more mature.
Is here.
Yeah, and mentally I'm not concerned about that. And physically I'm not really either. I just think that rookie of the year is a welcome expectation for a player of his caliber. I think we're also kind of skewing the situation a bit because we have expectations of Dallas because of the roster, the coaching, and what they've done over the past couple of years with Luka, and now adding him into that scenario and situation, we're raising the expectations for him. I think he's going to have an impact, but to say that he is going to be or should have the responsibility as an 18, 19-year-old to come into the Dallas Mavericks and push them into contention, that's a heavy cross to bear.
No, I think he can contribute. And I think because he can fit with those other guys and contribute is what I like about him giving them a boost. Because here's the other part. It's not just like they have a big three with Kyrie, AD, and Koo. It's, you have PJ Washington, who is a good player. The Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford combination at 5. Klay Thompson coming up with the bench.
Think about those players you talk about. They're like they need a conductor at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're like the band that needs the conductor. Those players. You know, and that makes
Do you think that's him?
he might be pushed in that position.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Early. Because think about Klay and think about Lively. Their games. It's like Clay's a catch and shoot guy. He doesn't use a lot of trouble. Lively's a lob threat. Like they need somebody to kind of set them up.
See, that's why that's why I prefer Chris Paul over D'Angelo Russell.
I would agree. But do you think he has the playmaking?
He's shown that ability to watch my
Join Bet365 today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Spend them on bets like the spread, money line, total, and play price. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. Win or lose. And B1 is never ordinary at Bet365.
My segment yesterday, people want playmaking. I mean, are you paying attention when we come on the set and do these these things, Rich.
I don't think I was on that segment. I may have been
I showed you that he has, that thing that surprised me was his playmaking ability, where he came off the pick and roll, threw lobs, found guys through around the back. Like, he got that. I didn't, that was the thing that shocked me, though. That's why I said he can get put in that role early to where you see his intangibles, which, a lot of people didn't watch college.
Yeah.
So they didn't know he could do all of that. And without Kyrie, without like a starting point guard, like you'll have some guys still in that spot, but probably aren't really starting point. Like maybe I think Exum is still on the roster.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I.
But he can be given a lot of responsibility to where he can really show his game on a veteran team.
Yeah. Well, earlier today, Rick gave his NBA comp for Super Flag, and it was called former teammate Kevin Garnett.
What was one?
One of. Okay, sorry. One of the comps. Would you like to amend the comp?
No, I want to hear it all.
Yeah, no, we'll go with what I gave this morning. I'm going to do a podcast later that will give a whole different take on this. Why I struggle with it.
That's fine. Fine, Rick. Whatever.
I mean, no, I'm going to amplify. But this was
some
challenge.
What? It's scared of something.
Yeah, because it's really hard for me to put a finger on who Cooper is.
But you did,
and he played with one of the guys that I used as the ceiling. So right now, yes, I said coming in the show it was going to be a challenge, and this is why, because I don't know what's coming back from the other side. Well, so let's bring it up.
I mean, I like to give comps like real comps. Like that's kind of comparable, like Cooper,
as opposed to the kind exactly that was subliminal message right there.
Talking about like salmon and Brazil. Two different fishes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I mean, you can call it
Cooper. Yeah, I want to compare him to guys that are similar in size, similar in game. Now, I think you kind of compared them in like similarities in probably one of the
motor playmaking, because I don't know if you know this, but he's a better playmaker than you realize.
No, but look, that's why if you had been listening once again when I gave him a comparison to Carolico, which is kind of similarity.
You're not the fun teacher anymore.
You're paying attention, class. So listen, I do pay attention to what you say, though. You said earlier, and what you said his game was going to be was what? It would be numbers-wise, everything across the board. So what was my comparison? Andre Carolico. Right?
Yeah, that's not a very good comp. That's not a very good comp.
Oh, so you say Andre Carolico wasn't that guy that put numbers across the board? Carolico, 14 points, 12 rebounds, 5 steals, 5 assists, 5 blocks. That sound like something Cooper Flag can give you? Yes. That's my comparable. So it makes more sense. A guy who was his size, same build. Yeah, of course he didn't have the playmaking skill. And you were kind of didn't know
what's the individual's name that you compared him to this morning? Because you guys are just talking.
The ceiling I said was Kevin Garnett.
No,
the basement I said
he averaged 10 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 1.8 assists. He finished
KG?
Yeah.
So that's
KG is also 6'11", 240.
Yeah, he was 7 feet.
They play a different position. That's why I said
Cooper is 6'11", and Cooper is 6'9", 205 pounds.
Yeah, so
he'll gain some weight. He'll put on weight.
He's not going to grow, and he's not going to play the same position. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be more perimeter based. But KG played a lot of high post. Yeah, but that's not Cooper. He's going to be on the perimeter.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's different games.
So that's why I said
So the basement was Lamar Odom. The ceiling was Kevin Garnett. And the most likely was Blake Griffin, not when he came into the league, but Blake Griffin from Detroit.
You are just destroying his house.
Hold on. Detroit Pistons on because as a playmaking forward, as a guy that you could play through, that's the difficulty I had is
Is it your
finding
chat GPT? That's not what they say.
Wow.
Praise, man.
That is,
I'm just trying to. I told you, Rick, Saturday at 10 o'clock. You know what it'll be, right?
It's a little me so much every time I show up, her about face. Everything no cutter. Y'all up, I don't really go trip about later. Daughter had these 7 guts when you waiting on us, tell them I was on PCH. You when they're thinking they cuter than you. Say you on your cycle, but he on this too. The tables been turning so much, I was thinking it's football. The tenderness of them was taking them for somewhere good. Walk, talk, like Kenny, like Ross, like Solana. I promise, more us. There's a waltz, there's a crater, or a spaceship. Get lost, no favors. I wager whatever you worth. I ball something about a conservative, regular girl that still can thorough as don't need you. Psychic can reach you. Zodiac sign, it must be a Gemini moon. We about to go half mistakenly. Nobody been in a bag, but how many bodies done? Some of y'all go get washed, some of y'all just go pop, some of y'all just go talk, and none of y'all ain't really got. Some of y'all just look lost. I get this type of feel you ain't accustomed to. I swear I'll be at peace if it wasn't for you. Yeah, only want your love beside me. But if it mean that you, and that's the way I like it. That's the way I like it.
will have seen them in March.
And you had the great point a couple weeks ago about international young teenagers now coming to the U.S. to play college basketball. And I think branding is also part of it, in addition to the NIL. And, that trend of, hey, European players at the top of the draft and nobody knows, maybe that cycle is over. And now we're transitioning back to American players. And listen, I know there's some flag and divisive following. People are like comparing him to Christian Leitner and stuff. Yeah, I don't think people are watching this. He is unbelievable.
Yes.
And his attitude, you could hear him in the interview. He's going to be dominant, man. I like Dallas a lot next year. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, Anthony Bennett and Markel Fultz didn't work. But by and large, considering how little you've seen the guys play before draft night, I mean, a lot of these guys come out at 18. NBA does a pretty good job of nailing their number one picks. I mean, Blake Griffin, probably, he was dynamic, and he's done as good as you know. Blake Griffin had a great career. He was one of the most talked about and commercialized players over his career. So there's not a lot of huge misses, and it's usually attitude. So Anthony Bennett, one of the few guys that like, God, now remember that draft. It was a horrible draft, and nobody knew what to do with it, and it just didn't work. But by and large, basketball does a pretty good job of identifying, often at 14 years old, Kobe, LeBron, Luka, at 14, 15, way before they come into the draft, who the best player is.
No ads, no ads, no ads. K-Shot brings you endless fun without any breaks. It's totally free. Jump into awesome tower defense action. Play round after round to your heart's content and feel the thrill every time you win. Download now and enjoy hours of pure gaming joy.
Did Kyrie make the right decision signing a 3-year extension to stay with the Mavs?
Yes.
Yeah, hell yeah. And we talked about this a lot when the injury happened, what his future would look like. I think you guys said he would probably decline that and try and get a longer term deal.
Yeah, I mean, just for you as an individual, when you're talking about like guaranteeing money, this was the smartest move for him financially, right? Where you don't know what your career is going to end up like, right? You got an injury, they got to make a move on you because they can't let you walk. So if you can get another guaranteed $50 million or $70 million, right? This is the time to do it. And that's what the move was. Like, I'm willing to take a pay cut or whatever, but what I'm doing is for the next 2 years, I'm guaranteeing you something I didn't have before, right? You can't look at like, if I, come back, like, you're going to miss this year, most of this year, and then try to go into free agency. You don't know what you're going to get. So it was easier to strike now to guarantee yourself another $70, $80 million. So this was a brilliant move for them, and for them it saves money too.
Yeah, I was looking at that as the fact that he's probably going to enjoy the next season. He's going to free agency, coming off of not playing. Yeah. That's what I wasn't thinking about. That's the part of it, yes, but I was looking at the fact that he's going into free agency, not as playing a lot. Yeah. And there was reports he could have been in like the 50 to 60 million annual range for the knee injury. Suffered the knee injury, was probably going to opt out anyway. The Mavs, I think he said, have been willing to him show commitment to him that he appreciated. So the future is bright in Dallas. So yeah, this is a smart move all around.
Yeah, that's before his mental. Now that he got this out the way, he can get through his injury. And like I said, the future is still bright in Dallas. We got the number one pick. We got Klay Thompson over there still. AD, so you still going up and up in Dallas.
Yeah. So how do you like this move for Kyrie to stay with the Mavs?
Yeah. Still winning more. And also a lot of money.
When we come back, try to do something big, next 3 years, take advantage of it.
So they got Kyrie locked up with 2 years ago, got Daniel Gafford extended as well, 3 years, $60 million deal. So after the Luka trade, Mavs GM Nico Harrison, easily the most hated man in Dallas, getting serenaded with firing Nico chants at home games and immediately time. But Harrison assembled a solid roster, had the ping pong balls mouth in his favor, with the Mavs securing the #1 pick. Will Nico Harrison and the Mavs get the last laugh for the Luka trade?
Want to keep your hairline where it is? Legooooo.com. You can explore a range of treatments that work best for you, so you can grow thicker and fuller hair in just 3 to 6 months. Get ahead now. The hair you love. Get started today at Legooooo.com.
I mean, is it? I know, Jim. That's why I had to ask. I know.
When you say laugh like as in what?
Yeah. That's why so serious? I told you, nigga.
I guess it's like if Dallas will win championships without him. That's the last laugh.
I think so.
You guys,
and the Lakers don't.
Yeah, you guys killed me because I traded Dallas, not favorite players, and we traded him because we needed to win championships. Are the Mavs in a better position right now to win their chips in the near future than the Lakers are currently? I mean, I still like it. I still think they will lock it up. They still got the #1 pick. They got Kyrie locked up. Still got AD. Still got Clay. Still got veterans.
AD and Kyrie together. It's like you didn't just keep Kyrie and Gafford and Lively.
Yeah.
And Dave and AD.
You got Clay. You got Cooper.
And Clay. Come on, man. And come on, man. Kyrie couldn't be more happy than over there smiling in this spiritual way.
I mean, even that, because when we're talking about laughing, who is actually laughing? Is that Dallas is going to laugh?
I think Dallas and Nico Harrison, everybody looking at him like he was an idiot.
Okay, let's try there. You get it.
They looking at the
like the people, like everybody.
All the people.
Not like everybody looking at him like, who the
Oh, I mean, they can laugh. I'm pretty sure the Lakers were laughing because they took the asset, traded it, then used your asset to sell it. $10 billion. How many rings are y'all going to win to say hop back when you sell your franchise? Because right now, I use Luka. Hey, you give me Luka? Hey, I got Luka now. We're going to go from $6 billion to 10. Like that, when we're talking about laughter, that has nothing to do with rings. It's about the value of something. Like, you're talking about Boston Stores for $6 billion. They gave you a piece, got back a piece, and then popped that motherfucker to 10. Like, so I'm looking at, that's the part I'm looking at when we're talking about laughing, because you gotta remember, she got the team for free. And so for $10 billion, they bought it. They bought the team from, right, what about it, $6 million? Cuban. Let me see, remember, they got a price on their head already. So what is their profit margin when they decide to sell the team? So to even say ha for Jimmy Butler, you got to sell that bitch for what, 16, 14 million? They have a $10 million profit.
So you sold controlling interest for $3.5 billion.
3.5. So you got to sell for 13 just to say ha to her. When we're talking about business.
So before the Luka trade, was he in trouble?
Who? How that? I mean, that's it. When you look across the owner in the last we got the head. Y'all really got that bread.
Yeah.
Y'all got that million for the analytics staff and all that.
I'm confused how. Because we gave you something. You get to hide now. We get to ride now. Think we still get to laugh. Still think Nico gets to laugh. Because we had to push you out because you was doing such a bad job. So, yeah, we kind of saved you. Yeah, in a sense. So it shouldn't be a high, it should be a thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Nico. We don't laugh at you. High five. Which I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but makes you wonder how all these like the figure. We got the whole NFL collusion situation going on. Just makes you wonder. Makes you say,
At the end of the day, they still came out on top.
Ooh,
The Lakers. Yeah, you talking about somebody who financially don't have no money. We switched for me to become wealthy. I'm pretty sure she's lacking all of it. Huh? I would know because they only sold with Luka, so I can't guess what they're asking now.
ask it again. Shout out to
I can't go hypothetical.
The Lakers are sold $10 billion. Sure, you just said, man.
I can only go with what it's sold for. I can't.
We do hypotheticals all the time.
But I don't need a hypothetical when I have a fact right here. The fact is sold for $10 billion. But
he's asking you a hypothetical.
Last year, the Boston Celtics sold for $6 billion with a championship on their head. So I can only say
smaller market than LA.
So I can only say, hey, with $10 billion, I inherited $10 billion with no cash.
And I want to say previous estimates are like the 7 to 8 billion range for the Lakers. So I hold 2 more. And that's not a question. No, very, very valid and fair question.
It's a valid question. It's a question that has no answer. I have no idea. We don't.
LeBron and AD Lakers celebrate championship. I would venture to say no.
Can we do this? The only way to answer that question for real, what was the value of the team last year, or at the end of last 2024, or the beginning of this year? That's the only way we know. What was the value of the team at the beginning of the season?
So we're not giving a hypothetical.
No, all we can say is what it was worth before Luka got there. That's all we can.
I think so.
You think they can sell for more?
No, I think they sell it for $10 billion if he's there or not.
Really?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I think so. Because it's the Lakers, man.
I know, but I can over what it was worth.
It's the franchise. Did Luka put a cherry on top? Yes, but I think it still goes for that with or without.
Why didn't they sell it?
Huh?
Just the name itself.
Just the name itself, the Lakers brand, history, inflation, Los Angeles, I think it sells for that.
Why
Because
didn't
they
they
don't.
sell it? You haven't been selling before.
Was the question
Did nobody vote?
the last half or Luka and Dallas?
Just Nico.
Just Nico.
And Dallas.
Yeah, because with Nico, then Nico's on his last half would be
On the court.
Just yeah,
But you're not in business.
I mean, Nico's never been part of the conversation with laughing because obviously he's laughing the whole time because he wasn't getting fired.
That's what they wanted. So Forbes has the Lakers valued at $7.1 billion in October 2024.
So,
But
7?
yeah, 7.1. But the Celtics sale, I'm sure, impacted that. We could say Luka potentially.
yeah, but Boston selling for that, that's what impacted that, not Luka. Boston selling for 6 impacted that.
Yeah, I'm just
More than Luka did.
But I'm saying we don't. What do you say when?
October, they were
October
about
24. They were right at the
And when did Boston sell?
for 6.1.
When?
A couple months ago, I'm saying, the sale went through. And then that new ownership group, I believe, takes over the next couple of weeks. So these are the moves that they're pushing. But so let's shift over to the draft.
Indiana gonna win, baby!
We're in Florida asking people what they put their money on! I'm leaning on OKC!
Indiana got that dog in them!
Will egg prices go up this month?
I think we'll hit $20. How many hurricanes do you think we'll have this year? Kalshi lets you legally trade on anything, anywhere in the U.S. OKC!
OKC!
So, in the world of disrespecting Kobe Bryant, a lot of people have had this back and forth discussion about Kobe, Tracy McGrady, and Kobe's contribution at any point in time, which has then led this ongoing dialogue around this idea of who's better between T-Mac and Kobe, which there is some truth in what's being said, but unfortunately, the reason why it's disingenuous is because of years in which we were discussing it. However, all of this started a couple of days ago, really, but it's on a week ago, when Tracy McGrady made claims that put me on no Lakers team, but I'll be able to win a championship with Shaq. And Hill decided to take the opportunity to kind of say some things that I believe was massively disingenuous. Let's start with T-Mac.
Player can't get out of the first round, but I get ridiculed because it can't. You just won a championship. I won a championship. No. After that, you couldn't get it back. You know, you're my brother. Here's the deal. Here's how you got rid of you. Y'all were lost 3-1 one time, and you said, and you thought y'all had it in the bag. Can't find that. Can't find it. When you want to get destroyed, y'all thought y'all had it in the bag. And that's what it. You were up 3-1. So again, it was the fact that if you're good enough to be up 3-1, they expected you to close. Because that was the only thing you might have said. And then when but when they blew it, we pointed it out. When they blew, we pointed it out. But we know they're great. So we pointed out close to get one lead. I'm saying that that's not saying you're not great. It's saying that the moment arrived and y'all ain't close. That's all. It's a fact, y'all.
Okay, so a couple of things. And I don't know where
That's a fine greatness. Is that the championship? I said it wrong. I didn't see your response, but for me, we have too many talented players that come to this league that are championship worthy. What I mean by that, if you take them off a team that is a championship quality team, replace Stuart Kobe with that. I don't want a championship. You don't think I can carry the Lakers to a championship? I've never had the opportunity. Right. I felt like if I was put in that position to win a championship, I didn't sure would show up and do what I do in the playoffs to elevate my team to that level. I just never had the chance. So do I get the finish? Because
that's where all of this started. There's a couple things we have to initiate. And I said this in my last video, do I think that if you put Tracy McGrady on one of those teams where it's Shaq and Kobe, that he would be able to win the championship with? Yes. Do I think that he was carrying? No. Carrying. But as I said before, the reason why Kobe's name is thrown around in these conversations isn't because he won one championship, it's because they preached it. And I don't think there is a single player in the NBA at that time that would have stood up to Shaq and told him, which was the truth, that you were lazy, out of shape, fat, unmotivated, and you need to get your shit together so we can go win again. And I'm willing to stand to you so much so that we can fight about it. I don't think there was a single player. I don't think there was a single player in the NBA at that time that would have done it. That was Shaq kicking his ball, and if it wasn't for Kobe, a lot of the people would have picked up some characteristic traits from Shaq, which would have been detrimental to them winning, and I don't think they would have ever achieved that degree of success with any other player. And these are conversations that we're having in real time. I just don't think that they're true. All the noise that we hear about Iverson and who he was as a player off the court, how dedicated he may or not have been, and to his own admission, not only did he not practice, but he himself said that he was not coached. Do I believe after winning a championship, maybe two, that Iverson and Shaq in the offseason would have gotten together and worked out and been prepared for three? Let's be serious. No. Vince Carter, no. Jason Kidd, no. A lot of those players had too passive personality to not stand up to Shaq. So I think the three is where Kobe's genius truly shines. But if you want to say one, fair. Henry, no. But from there is where people then spawn a bigger idea of, again, who Kobe was, because furthering Kobe's legacy and who he was as a player in comparison to the greatest conversation, fair enough, given the championship that he won with Shaq, was the two that he won afterwards, which is something that I don't believe that Tracy McGrady would not have been able to do. T-Mac might have gone to the finals one year, but winning a title, I don't think T-Mac would have won a title with those teams, which then prompted another discussion about McGrady's idea of not having the opportunity to win or get beyond the first round, which is factually incorrect. I made a video about this several years ago. Tracy McGrady was on the brink of getting out of the first round at bare minimum 3 times, and that's not including the Detroit Pistons series. That series against Charlotte, that series against Utah, and that series against Dallas. Those are all winnable series. And Tracy McGrady in the second half, fourth. Not show up when it matters the most. And again, these are winnable series. So when you're comparing yourself to someone like Kobe, who in multiple instances did show up, even in series when some of his other teammates did not play to that level, such as 08 against the San Antonio Spurs, where Pau Gasol was manhandled by Tim Duncan, that's a series where I don't know if Tracy would have been able to show up to get him to the next level. I don't know. I just don't know. And so then that kind of prompted a bunch of other conversations circulating around Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant, and why T-Mac was a bit out of line from comparing himself to Kobe. I said this when the video first came out. T-Mac was playing a very dangerous game. A very, very dangerous game. Very dangerous. People are going to remind him real quick who he was in this highlight. Which then brought us to our good friends over at the Gilbert Arena show, man. Shout out to Gil and them, Gil and family. And apparently Gil got some nice shit off.
Would have won a ring if he played with the front set. So first of all, do you agree with T-Mac saying he would have won a ring if he played with the front set?
Shit, I would have too.
I would love to have replaced that Christian. Okay. I said in this corner boss, man. Wait, what ring at the number 2 option? I don't know what you talking about. We always number 2 option. Okay, no, that's yeah. The whole league, like that's what makes it stupid argument. The whole league was number 2 option. If Duncan would have went there, number 2. If Duncan, number 2. If KD was there, everybody.
I will give you $100 for every question answered correctly in this 28-degree ice time.
And I said this as well. But one thing I'm not going to do on this video is cap and lie to you, because I don't think that it does anybody any justice by lying to people. Everyone, not in the league at that time, but in NBA history outside of maybe Michael Jordan, would have been a second option to Shaq in those years. Especially going to the finals against Rick Smith on his last leg and Jason Collins with the Nets. Everyone would have been, I mean, niggas talking about Wilt Chamberlain, if another center than not just an awkward fit. But everyone would have been a second option next to him, because if you were someone that was willing to get in front of whatever Shaq was doing, then that right there would be the definition of selfish. The fact that as much selfish talk that we give to Kobe, the fact that he can try to force himself in any of those 3 finals appearances when definitively he has a better matchup. Yeah, prime LeBron too. Prime LeBron. I saw LeBron take a back seat to D-Wade. That nigga taking a back seat to Shaq. What are you talking about? He's taking a back seat.
Number 2. Did he get the front? Duncan. Number in 2002 or number 2. Everybody was number 2. I got somebody shadow. Yes, everybody. He was the only player that you would have on guarding him. You're putting 3 to 4 people. Like it was, if you didn't dig down on the first dribble, the person that's guarding you was pissed off. Like, come on, dog. This is what we not. Come on. You know the game plan. His first dribble, hard dig. Would he be available? Who? Tracy Grady. He was injured. So would he be? We're talking about 2000, 2001, 2002. Yeah. What are you saying? 32. Man, what? The Orlando. He's talking.
Now this is where things get odd, and this is where Gil is losing me, and a lot of people I think are rightfully upset about. The further away we get from the 2000 version of Shaq, 01 version of Shaq, and the closer we get to 2002, 2003, 2004, the closer we get to that stretch of years, we have a different, we have a different dialogue at that point. Because at that point, it's not like that's the version of T-Mac that you're referring to, but the version of Shaq that you would have to be referring to would have to be the 2000 one. No one thinks that at that point in 2003 that Shaq was still the same nigga that he was in 2000. No one ever thinks. No. That's the reason why Kobe had to go out there in the regular season and average 36 and 6 or some shit like that. That's the reason why Kobe had to do that. No one does not think that that's the same version of Shaq. No one does not think that. What the chosen people, you're right. That's what the chosen people just said is the point that I want to make. I'm gonna allow them to also lay it out. They are picking. The problem with this conversation is that they are deciding 2000 and 2001 Kobe and that year of Shaq was picking 03 with Brady and talking about no. Y'all niggas are purposely picking some of the worst years of Kobe while talking about the best version of T-Mac to get this shit off. And the fact that that's the only way that you niggas can get it off kind of proves the point. That kind of proves the point.
I don't think the Orlando team, he's saying if he took the Orlando T-Mac that has 32 of that, and you replace him and put him with Kobe, he's the same person.
Yeah, there was a point in time where that.
You talking about that? That's not.
There was a point in time where T-Mac was like, he was playing there. It was like a point in time where everybody was like, oh, who's better? There was a point in time, like for 2 or 3 years. That was the conversation.
Everybody got the first round. He's not soft playoff. We get the You succeed and put me in there. I actually going to win the championship.
Some crypto exchanges make you wait forever. High fees and slow trades, hard pass. With high liquidity, your trades happen in seconds, not hours. On Kraken, you can access over 275 coins from Bitcoin to altcoins, backed by a proven track record of uptime, transparency, and top-tier security. So stop waiting and stop overpaying and trade smarter with Kraken.
So before I get pop and gas, because there's something else that Gil said in the first take episode that was again where we're blurring the lines of the issues we're talking about. So the meta world said it's actually correct, and we can go back and find articles, but there's a point in time what Shaq was declining, and he wasn't definitively the best player. That they were arguments about if Kobe and McGrady was better between the two. But the reason why that's important to highlight is because that was also the same time when niggas were starting calling, when people were starting throwing Kobe as best in the world conversation. This clip that Gil was arguing about how no one gave Kobe credit, that Gil, what we're talking about, like, he's like mixing up so many years that makes no sense.
Wait to hear. I mean, I just want to hear what everybody has to say, and I'll respond. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what I said, bro.
It's about war, something that structure needs to win does not boost you in front of individual accomplishments. And when you use Kobe, which frowned upon what LeBron said, I would disagree with that.
Gotcha.
I would disagree with that.
I remember what I said there.
In real time, Kobe had 3 rings. Y'all wasn't treating him like a 3-ring player. He was treated like a sidekick. He was considered a sidekick. He was considered a Robin. He was considered the next Pippen. In 2002, with 3 rings.
That is factual. Gil had me with some of what he said, but as soon as he said the next Pippen, that was factually incorrect. No one did not think of Kobe as the next Pippen in 2002, 2003. No, they didn't. Fans did it, players did it, and also GMs did it. No, they did it. And now you're contradicting yourself because now if you're saying that they thought at one point T-Mac and Kobe were one-on-one like Meta just said, now you're basically saying, so you also think they were saying that Tracy was one-on-one with the next Pippen argument? Because that wouldn't make any sense. And after Kobe had won 3 championships, and they were still saying that he was the next Pippen, not in 2000. 2000, I can hear you. Maybe even 2001. But by the time we get to post 3 championships, 2003, no, nigga, no. And I'll prove my point. See, I'll have facts to back what I'm saying. We're not going to just sit up here and just be gabbing. We're not going to do that.
GM poll 2003. 2003. I think that many of you all can already see what that says at the top right here, where it says NBA GM Survey 2002-2003 edition, October 9th, 2023. One, Kobe Bryant. I think y'all already see it says it already. I think y'all see it already. So this is the first year that they actually did the poll, the GM poll. And we're gonna get to what the fans thought as well. So we can go ahead and knock this shit out. Who will win the 2003 finals? Overwhelmingly the Lakers. Which team has the best chance of dethroning the Lakers? Sacramento, not even San Antonio. Who will win the 2002-2003 Most Valuable Player of the Year award? Kobe Bryant, tied with Shaq. That's not Pippen, nigga. That's not Pippen. That's not Pippen. Josh Hart, number one fan, is right. That sounds like 1A to 1B to me. See, a lot of niggas have rewritten history about who Kobe was. Kobe was not, 2000 version of Kobe was not the same nigga in 01, 02, 03, 08. That nigga was not the same. By the time we get past 01, it is undeniably 1A, 1B. Undeniably. Atlantic Division, Central Division, Midwest, Pacific Division, okay. Most intense player, not even Ben Wallace. It's actually Alonzo Mourning. Big shout out to Alonzo. We keep going. Who was the player that most likely make a last-second shot if the game depended on it? Kobe. More than Reggie Miller, more than Michael Jordan, more than Allen Iverson. Who they thought was the best rebounder? Ben Wallace. Who do you enjoy watching the most? Kobe. Best point guard, Jason Kidd, wasn't even close. Best shooting guard, Kobe Bryant, wasn't even close. The fuck they thought Paul Pierce was a two guard is ridiculous. But here is where T-Mac, I'm giving the credit where credit. T-Mac was viewed as the best small forward in the NBA. He was. Duncan over Garnett and Shaq, not even close. Best international players you can see. You know, this is what this is. We can all see this. So I want people. GP was still getting best defender in the NBA conversations in 2003. Ridiculous. Okay, that's ridiculous. GMs thought Kobe was tied for third though as well.
Beyond cash advance. Try it now.
To be fair though,
Kevin Durant is going to be the third star to lead the Thunder and fail to win a championship on the Rockets. As you think about the announcement of the trade to the Rockets, Rockets bombs were just launched on behalf of Israel, the United States, against Iran. He should get to 13 playoff eliminations, Kevin Durant, since leading the Warriors. So he is at 11 playoff eliminations right now. And he was injured during that series. So now he is 2-4 in the playoffs since leaving the Warriors. Durant got swept by the Wolves in his last playoff series. He could fall at 2-5, losing the first round since leading Golden State. Kevin's 25. Or if he wins in the first round and loses in the conference semifinals, he could fall at 3-5 since losing against Toronto. Since he left the Warriors after losing against Toronto. Raptors is 35. Could he lose against King James in the conference semifinals next year? That's kind of how I look at 3-5.
Now, Iran has come out to the 2-4 playoff series record since leaving the Warriors. He's going to win 0 rings at the end of the day when it's all said and done. 0's gematria of the Rockets representing Israel launching strikes into Iran. So kind of fitting out, it's that same gematria. And basically, he destroyed basketball for 2 years, 3 years if it wasn't for the injuries on the Warriors, like Cousins and Durant. And so he ruined basketball. He won a couple playoff series even when Stephen Curry was hurt. That's how much of a joke it was. The Rockets involved in the trade with the loser Phoenix Suns. I think I want to go from the trade to today, the day of the trade for Kevin Durant. 6 of 22 out of 28. Leaves Arizona. 84 is Camacho leaving Arizona. Arizona is Camacho 84. Okay, what about the end of the Rockets season to the day of the trade? Game 4 on May the 4th, Kevin Wayne Durant is 54. The trade was made 49 days after losing against the Warriors and Jimmy Butler. Warriors is 49. Kevin Durant did play for the Warriors. They lost the Game 7 against them. They lost against Jimmy Butler, and now they get Kevin Durant 49 days later. But it's all going to end with 0 rings for Kevin Durant.
It's important to me that someone's in my time zone because I want to communicate with them easily. On Upwork, you can search by time zone, budget, skill set, so it really narrows it down. When I was looking to start my blog, I found a WordPress expert in my budget, in my time zone, and I hired him that day.
No ads, no ads, no ads. King Shot brings you endless fun without any breaks. It's totally free. Jump into awesome tower defense action. Play round after round to your heart's content and feel the thrill every time you win. Download now and enjoy hours of pure gaming joy.
The draft is over. There are 3 days left until the start of NBA free agency, and Brian Windhorst is here for a Windy watch. Windy, let's start in LA.
Yeah, so August 2nd is a very important day for the Lakers. Why? Because that's the day Luka Doncic can extend his contract. He only has 1 guaranteed year left on his deal. Ideally, the Lakers want to get him into a multi-year deal, and they need to do some work on their roster before they bring that offer to him. Specifically, they really need to add a center because that's what Luka likes to play with, especially one that can be a lob threat and can protect him defensively.
The draft is over. There are 3 days left until the start of NBA free agency, and Brian Windhorst is here for a Windy watch. Windy, let's start in LA.
Yeah, so August 2nd is a very important day for the Lakers. Why? Because that's the day Luka Doncic can extend his contract. He only has 1 guaranteed year left on his deal. Ideally, the Lakers want to get him into a multi-year deal, and they need to do some work on their roster before they bring that offer to him. Specifically, they really need to add a center because that's what Luka likes to play with, especially one that can be a lob threat and can protect him defensively. The Lakers know this. The league knows this. Let's see if they can get it done. There's also some business over the weekend for superstar LeBron James. He has a option, pickup, and decision on a $53 million number for next year. Last year at this exact spot, LeBron opted out of his contract and offered the Lakers that he would take a pay cut if they could find some free agents to go for it. They didn't do that at that time. This year, that offer is not on the table, and the expectation is that LeBron will pick up this option and stay at $53 million with the no trade clause. But there will be no new contract for Austin Reeves. He has turned down a 4-year, $90 million extension, and he is headed for free agency in 2026. Now, that is not something that was unexpected. He is limited by contract rules for how much he can sign for now. So it's always expected he would turn this down and try to have another good year and chase a 9-figure contract next year.
Sure. I mean, who wouldn't? Hey, look, the Lakers have definitely, they went into the postseason with a little bit of momentum, but it didn't cash it in. In order to get from where they ended the season to title contention, Bobby, what do they need to do? Well, as Brian said, they need to get a center here, and this is what they have. They have $60 million in expiring contracts. They have the $5.7 million tax mid-level extension. Here's the list of centers that are potentially out there. Certainly Jackson Hayes, who was on the roster last year, Luke Cornett, Mason Plumlee, some of these older veterans, Larry Nance, Clint Capella, Al Horford, of course, not the most robust center market out there, as you can see here. But they have that tax mid-level exception. They have a 2031 or 2032 first to go out. Remember, they tried to go out and get Mark Williams at the deadline. That failed. Mark Williams goes to Phoenix here. So there are resources to go out there for the Lakers here, but they're certainly competing against a lot of other teams. And as Brian said, there's a priority with Luka extension eligible August 2nd to put the right pieces around him and LeBron. August 2nd, a little more than a month away. Tim, Bontemps, what should the Lakers' focus be here over the next month?
Well, Dan, as Bobby said, they have to get a center, right? They have to find somebody who's a lob threat, in particular for Luka Doncic. That's the kind of player he's always thrived with. But this team needs several things. They need more shooting on the perimeter. They need more defense on the perimeter to be able to stop some of the elite perimeter scorers in the Western Conference. And they have to find that rim protector on defense who could also be a lob threat. That's a lot of stuff for a team that, as Bobby said, only has that taxpayer's mid-level exception, which isn't that big, to go out and sign guys at free outside of minimums, and then a couple of draft assets in trade. Now, there's a lot of expired contracts. They do have some stuff they can move around with, but at the end of the day, we just saw the Oklahoma City Thunder with an incredibly deep roster cruise through the Western Conference playoffs for the most part, outside of a 7-game series with Denver to get to the finals. That is the bar the Lakers have to clear. They have a lot of work to do if they want to be seen as a team that's truly on the level of the Thunder in the West.
One name to keep an eye on as we enter the weekend. Sunday is the last day for players with their options is Dorian Finney-Smith. He's got a $14 million player option. The Lakers cannot afford to lose him. If Finney-Smith goes out in the
welcome everybody to another presentation of the NBA live on 2K Sports. I'm Brian Anderson, at the table with Grant Hill and Brent Berry. Our reporter is Allie LaForce.
Yeah, the whole league is sort of keeping at least one eye on the Bucks. So they have 7 free agents, 4 of which you could say would be their sort of core players, guys like Chris Lopez, guys like Gary Trent, potentially Bobby Portis at the outside of his contract over the weekend. And look, Giannis has made it clear he wants to compete for championships. The Bucks, as constructed last year, were a team in the middle of the pack, and that was before they lost King Rogers to an Achilles injury. Now, Giannis has not asked for a trade. The Bucks are not interested in trading for him. Right now, there is no press on that. But if the Bucks don't reassemble it,
and here's Indianapolis now.
Continue to contender into the Eastern Conference, that may be something that Giannis
Washington left side.
One thing the league is definitely watching.
Okay, what does that next month look like for the Bucks then? If they're trying to convince Giannis that they're serious about winning this.
And the defense didn't have position. They whistle a blocking foul, and he'll go to the line. It's going to be on Anthony Davis. Indianapolis shooting their initial free throws of the game here. It's both from the stripe.
At this point, you might as well go ahead and chalk up the points when he's at the free throw line. Pretty much automatic.
The Lakers, they have very limited financial flexibility. It's unclear if they're even able to go into the luxury tax. They've got over $130 million out of 3 players. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Dame Lillard is probably out for next season, and Kyle Kuzma. That is not a lot of wiggle room to work with. But again, the goal is to really get a threat in the East. And by the way, these guys lost in 5 games in the first round of the Pacers, and we're pretty far away from being competitive in that series with Giannis playing out of
He's getting his first free throw attempt of the game here.
And again, very limited financial and draft assets to do so. This is going to be as hard a challenge as it's seen in the NBA for a while.
He was fouled in the act of shooting.
With the assets these guys have at their disposal.
Well, whenever Jordan Poole is out there, Brent, you expect some highlight reel moments.
No doubt that you're the kind of player that's going to take some chances. And sometimes it doesn't go so well. Sometimes pay off
My stance on this the whole offseason has been let's see where the Bucks sit on August 1st.
Really
Let's see how they July. Let's see what they can get done. And then let's participate in the season to see what all of this stands. Because the Bucks in the past have not had a lot of assets and have found ways to be aggressive and go out and fill in the roster. They're set by Philly. Good example. He's the guy that was expected to be somewhere in the mid-teens as a free agent. They got him on the middle. And they're going to have a lot of playing time also. They're going to have being able to play next to young set of people and get a lot of attention taken off you to be able to produce. As something to offer, they have some things they can offer the players to come there and play, but at the end of the day, they have to find a way to get it done. Let's see where this sits on. Every time there's been some speculation regarding Giannis, Drew Holiday,
Donovan Mitchell with a board.
Damian Lillard,
For him, it's harder to miss that shot than it is to make that shot. I think he was anticipating a bit of a bump there.
Shot is good by Reeves. The defensive effort was lacking, but hey, give them credit for finding a weakness there.
They have really smart basketball. But they're trying to Tim said 80% of the salaries tied up in there, and they have all these free agents, so they're going to have to prioritize who they want to bring back.
Give the defense just another thing to worry about.
Yeah, he's got to be a little bit more on their radar after knocking down something like that.
Here's Reeves. And it's Indianapolis with the rebound. Here's Yabusele. And the dunk to finish it off. Oh, beauty. Slams it down with 2 hands. Man, they're really getting aggressive now.
And it's a flaw, but that's what people are watching.
If they don't pull up,
here's Reeves.
And that one comes up a bit short. To be where Giannis going to go.
Pass to Adams.
Well, listen, there's a reason why San Antonio still have a lot of their draft assets and players, and they were not heavily involved in
defended by Gay.
There's a reason why the Knicks were on Kevin Durant's preferred list.
Now Poole. Rebound by Willis.
So, as Wendy opened up this segment by saying, the entire
1:19 left in the first quarter here.
What's going on in Milwaukee, and so will we over the coming.
Takes it inside. And he got the whistle on the way up, so he'll be headed to the line for a pair. These are his first free throws of the game. And that one falls for Reeves. Both good from the line that time. Indianapolis leading by 3.
Last summer. And look, they interviewed Mike Brown, they interviewed Mike and Noe assistant, they interviewed Kevin Johnson. They're going to the process.
Streaking past the defense, looked like he had another gear he got to.
Here's Reeves. Pass to Mashburn.
Well, they've got 7 of the best players in the contract, and free agency starts on Sunday.
And first quarter, we're about 3.5 minutes in.
They don't have a coach in place, and the priority is their depth. And when you're going to be with free agent players,
Nice finish from the low block. That was good.
How their offense is going to flow. Things are only working when he seems to be on the floor.
Reeves. Gay, shot is good.
That's too easy. A player of Rudy Gay's scoring prowess salivating, I'll tell you that.
And the call will be against Austin Reeves. That's his first foul.
Substitution on the court.
And we're just over 3.5 minutes into this first quarter. For 3, Lowry. Count it. 1 for 1 to start the game.
And Kyle Lowry pulling out all the stops now, showing all of his range.
Here's Wembanyama. The shot is good. Doncic making the play. We've got 13 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Out left to the wing. And here's Adams from the arc. Here's Wedman. And no good. trying to get that one to fall. And so it's Indianapolis with a 6-point lead at the close of the quarter. Getting lots of great looks, shooting it well. That's why they're up. We'll be right back.
Kevin pass.
Hope you've enjoyed the broadcast so far. Halfway through the first half of this one. And a look now at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for Indianapolis.
They've been really going at the defense in the painted area. On behalf of Israel, the United States against Iran.
And they've sort of assumed control of this game with their pressure defensively. They've been into the ball handler.
So he is at 11 12 elevations right now. And he was injured during that series. So now he is 2-4 in the playoffs since leaving the Warriors. So man got swept by the Warriors in his last playoff series.
Make the next
He was 2-5 losing the first round since leading Golden State. Kevin's 25. Or if he wins in the first round and loses the conference semifinals, he can fall to 3-5 since losing against Toronto. Since he left the Warriors after losing against Toronto. Raptors is 35. Could he lose 16 games in the conference semifinals next year? That's kind of how I look at 3-5. The Atlanta Rockets come out to the 2-4 playoff series record since leaving the Warriors. He's going to win 0 rings at the end of the day.
Here's
when it's all said and done.
They lead by 8.
0 to Rockets. The Rockets representing Israel. Watching strike into Iran.
Defensively,
so
can't afford to
kind
get
of fitting out. It's that same Gematria.
Tomorrow with that player, you
It's
hate to see him
basically
give up.
you destroy basketball for 2 years. Because if it wasn't for the injuries on the Warriors, like Cousins and Japan. So, he won basketball. He won a couple playoff series, even when Stephen Curry was hurt. That's how much of a choke it was. The Rockets involved in the trade with the Luka, Phoenix Suns.
And here's Indianapolis now. For 3, Lowry.
They took out a trade in the trade.
Perfect timing, swats it away.
Pass to Poole.
Today, the day of the trade.
Here's Wilkes.
Kevin,
Indianapolis again missing.
6-22 out of 28. Leads Arizona. 84.
Davis down low.
It's Toronto leading Arizona. Arizona's Toronto 84.
And I'll tell you what, if you're going to mix it up with Davis, you better be on
Okay,
your
let's
game.
talk about the Rockets. To the day of the trade.
Home, and they call the foul. He's headed to the stripe for one more.
Game 4 on May 4th, 10 like Durant at 54. The trade was made 49 days after losing against the Warriors and Jimmy Butler.
Finish right there. It was
Warriors
one
at
big
49.
exclamation
Kevin
point.
Durant did play for the Warriors and lost the Game 7 against them.
And a foul call on the way up. So he'll
They
take
lost
2
against
from
Jimmy
the free throw
Butler
line.
and now they get Kevin Durant 49
was trying to
games
bait the
late.
defense into jumping
It's
first,
all going to end with
gets the
0 win
contact,
for Kevin
and
Durant.
marches himself straight to the foul line.
Despite entering his 30s, Anthony Davis is not slowing down, Grant.
Yeah, PA. Last year, he had the best rebounding numbers.
Drew Holiday, the LA native, is now been traded back to Portland. Anthony Simon is now on the Celtics. They have a first-round pick who averaged 19.3 points last year. He can face against both people farm in the Lakers in the NBA Finals. He's at number 24. That 24th pick from Portland. I would like the 19.3 points per game is the Lakers Celtics for the first of 2 straight championships, the 18th in the 19th titles in the history of the Lakers. The LeBron Lakers come on to this 19.3 points per game last year. He's now on the scene after averaging 19
At least on that
points.
slam it was. That's one way to let a team back in the game.
You have to credit the aggressiveness
Anthony
offensively
Simon
because that's
is interesting Gematria. His Gematria is Gematria Kobe Bryant.
Practically a block. Good, strong challenge.
In the return.
altering the shot just as long as there's a miss. That
The
kind of
Lakers
energy
who won
not
their
wasted.
77th NBA Finals team will face that LA to win their next championship 77 months after the death of Kobe next year.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. brings it down with a two-handed jam.
Anthony is the macho
Staring at a
goes to the
sizable
front.
deficit.
Wins
The
the chance
defense
at
has to
41
tighten
in the
up.
lead. 4-1 playoff series record for JJ Redick with a chance to go to 5. Tied Kobe Bryant again. It was that 41 in the Celtics. Also, the Celtics had 41.
That pass in full
He now
stride
plays
on
for the
his way to the
Celtics.
big slam.
Simon just
Using
about
those
to
hops to attack the rim.
89 of King's Bay. Simon 26 is Devontae Celtics. It goes to Boston with it. 26 every Boston against Celtics. This tie Kobe Bryant next game.
Beautiful assist.
Pass to Misi.
He's very good, but we don't know about
Here's
it
Yabusele.
because
7
he
points
just
in the
hasn't
game.
played on a good
Here's Misi.
team. Celtics get younger, they get better to all the
Rebound
day.
by Victor Wembanyama.
High scored Orlando tried to break the championship. It was at Orlando in the bubble. Unit 8, 6 back
It's going to
8.
be on Jordan Poole.
Toronto another Eastern Conference championship for Boston next year.
Tried to gain position, but couldn't quite get there.
This is a very, very good trade for them. They get younger,
Right side Mitchell.
they get more dynamic.
Fires the three.
Maybe it's going to go against the Magic.
And so it's Indianapolis now holding a 12-point lead at quarter's end. They hold a real solid lead right now. Love their approach tonight.
Anthony
We'll get back to the
sideways
action
is
after this break.
LeBron James, another LeBron against the Celtics. Playoff matchup this time in the NBA Finals. Anthony Tyreek Simons, 111 with the Demarcus, the NBA Finals. It's those three from Boston.
Big comeback is needed for this game
One
to
of
be
these guys who
competitive.
hurt their
Probably
ACL
has to
could
happen
win the
quickly.
East next year. Game, of course, Tyreek and Tatum. But Tatum could come back and lead the
visitors with the ball.
Celtics to the NBA Finals
12-point
next year.
game.
It might not be.
Here's Reeves. And there's a 3-second violation.
Ooh, talk about a way to deflate the team. Yeah, he knows he shouldn't have made it, and that's just really overall a frustrating sequence that hopefully doesn't stick with him.
Three-pointer. And that one's good. Starks.
And still be a good basketball
That's
team.
just totally relentless, only increasing the intensity level. Yeah, he's the guy that you want to go to right now, trying to put this one away.
Here's Mashburn. Takes the three. And again, Indianapolis with a triple.
It'd be great if Steven Adams develops that shot consistently. That will open up some offense.
All right, Graham, what do you think about Jordan Poole's nickname, the Pool Party? Oh, it's very apt, right? Because when he's on, everyone is having a good time. It also speaks to his relaxed attitude. He's out there to shoot and have fun while here's Yabusele. Back to Adams. Here's the three. Rebound, Anthony Davis. Trying to find a spark here.
Yes, indeed. A rough stretch offensively. They could really use a basket.
Picked to the middle. And Washington powers it through.
And that was just moving the ball quickly. And he rewarded at the end with a high percentage.
Yeah, the defense trying to do their best to slow him down, but when he gets room like that, you got to look out.
Third quarter here, over a minute and a half into it. Pass to Gay. They need this. Sinks it from distance. 7 points in the game.
Wow, when Rudy Gay's connecting there, that's going to help out a lot. It really opens up the rest of the court.
Puts up a three. Sinks the tray.
Out of the ballpark to create two sports cities to play in two
Both teams
championship
finding
series
ways
in
to
the
the
span of
three-point line
years.
and trying to take advantage from distance.
I'm referring to the fact
that the Tigers are going to make it to the World Series and win the American League, and then the Detroit Lions are going to make it to the Super Bowl. So this kind of thing,
this is what it's been since halftime. Remarkable results from downtown.
Pretty
infectious right here, guys. In good spirits and percentages from downtown on the rise in the second half.
Tampa played in the World Series, and
unable to get the ball in bounds, and they got called for a 5-second violation. You have to limit mistakes. They're so tough to overcome.
Well, not making things easier on themselves right now, that's for sure.
The Dodgers won the World Series and they look just won the championship.
They get it back to the right side. Shot's good by Will.
The way he's going to pass that shot up, the D is way too far back and relaxed in getting out on
The
it.
Giants won the World Series.
Pass to Mitchell. Oh, a clear foul there on the missed shot. So he'll get a pair at the line. PJ Washington picks one up. Going beyond mere stats, Mitchell breathes life into this offense. His energy lifts everyone around him.
1:14 left to play in the third. Now Indianapolis with it. They're on a 17-5 run. And the foul is called. He missed it, so he's got a couple of free throws coming his way.
The officials were right on top of that one.
And he'll take his third and fourth free throws of the night. And so he hits both. 3 minutes gone now in the third quarter. Doncic feeling it out a bit. Shot from the wing. No good there. And it's Jokic with the ball for Indianapolis. Since halftime, they've only allowed 5 points.
And
that was good. Starks has got 10 points in just the second half.
And trust me, when the D's slow to react, he'll be the first guy to make them pay.
Well, I know they don't have mobile devices out there for texting, so they might as well talk to one another.
Doncic banked it in off the glass.
The size and strength of Doncic can go overlooked. I mean, he's more than capable of scoring there in the paint.
3-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And it starts missing.
2015, the Warriors, made it to the finals,
Doncic outside.
less than 12 months after the Giants won the World Series in 2014.
Out to the wing.
Let's take a look at the San Francisco.
And so it's Indianapolis, already up 26 points as this quarter ends. And their defense has